Trump also had the crowd yesterday bring back an old familiar chant, "Lock her up." Are Hillary Clinton's emails even comparable to the Mar-a-Lago stash?
No, I mean, that's the great irony of the "lock her up" chant being revived at a rally in 2022. If you look at the actual numbers of what happened in this Hillary Clinton email, quote unquote, scandal from the 2016 campaign, you had 3 email chains that had classification markings that the then Secretary of State had either missed or should have been more attentive to. But even the FBI in the end said she could have missed this. It is not some grave national security scandal. By contrast, former President Trump, in this August 8th FBI search of his property, found more than 100 documents with classification markings, including 18 marked top secret. I mean, we're talking about some records here that aren't supposed to be viewed outside of very tightly controlled special facilities created to look at things just like this. And yet these records were found throughout Mar-a-Lago, in an office, in a storage locker, in a bedroom, even in a bathroom, according to the FBI's inventory recently released of these records. So again, if we're talking about lock her up, I mean, there's just something so richly ironic about that old classic coming back in 2022, knowing what we know about what was at Mar-a-Lago as recently as early August of this year.
And Andy, one other notable part of Trump's speech, after months of ignoring the QAnon movement, Trump recently reposted, actually this is on social media, not his speech, but he reposted some of its conspiracies. Talk to us about your new book and what these far-right groups are capable of unleashing.
The president giving his endorsement, which is more or less what he does when he shares or he amplifies a QAnon message or some other conspiracy theory, of which he has multiplied many, he is activating a whole ecosystem. You could even call it an industrial complex for conspiracy theories out there in this country and abroad. And when he does it with QAnon, it sends a message to millions of people who think, hey, maybe there's something to this horrible QAnon conspiracy theory. When he's done it to, any number of other conspiracy theories, it's implicated, innocent people. It puts people in harm, and it spreads disinformation that just confuses, if not inflames, the American public. So what my book gets into is, how we got to this place in our politics where you have what was then a president, now a former president, pushing conspiracy theories, in a place where there are millions of people who are primed to act on those conspiracy theories, primed to share them to their friends, in some cases primed to march on the Capitol and attack police officers and other public officials, to get inside that Capitol and try to stop the peaceful transfer of power. I mean, that is the place that we have arrived at, and that is what I try to get into in the book. How do we get here? Where do we go from here?